Today we're going to talk a little bit about saving clay. This is mostly a tutorial guide for those of you who are getting started, just starting out in the sculpting business, that type of thing. When you go and you buy your clay, water-based clay here, which comes in a couple of big bags and a big box for about 25 bucks. Or if you have it shipped and you have to pay 50 bucks or 75, whatever. That does tend to take a lot of money to actually order every time you need clay. Well, there is a shortcut that you can use whenever you do a clay sculpting, and it can form, have to deconstruct it, destroy it after you've molded it, or maybe it broke, and you just got frustrated and decided, oh, I'm just going to redo it. Do not throw that clay away. It may be dried out, it may be cracked, it may be broken. There is a way to save the clay, okay? You get a 5-gallon bucket, fill it with water, and put the clay in the bucket. And like I said, I always have about 5 or 6 gallons of this water in the shop. Pour the water in the bucket, let the clay sit for a day, few hours, that type of thing. It will actually start to not only become moist and pliable again, but it will actually also start to soften and become sedimentary. So if you have a situation where, say you got beyond your mold and you went advanced to where you actually mold it, and you had to do some spray release or you had to use paint or something to protect the sculpt while you molded it, and then now you want to completely clean that clay off, there again, put it in the water. If you put hot water in, I've discovered, now this is just me, I've discovered that hot water will pull a lot of wax and paint and spray release off of the clay. Makes it float to the top, and it kind of lays in a layer like, separated. So that way you can either pour it out in a bucket, like I have a bucket down here, kind of want to pour the water out in the bucket down below, and all that goes to that, and it separates itself from the clay. Then, let's say you are like me, and when you get done with the bag, you automatically just toss it in the trash because you're not thinking. You're just going, oh, it's an empty bag, it's gone. You don't have anything to put the clay in. So you got this bucket full of clay here that you need to put in a bag. Well, guess what? That's what this is. Freezer bags. Dollar store. You can get a bag, a box of 60 at Walmart. Double value. I use these for freezing meat in the freezer and vegetables and stuff. But I don't freeze as often as I bag the bag. So what you can do is just take this clay that you have that's already softened and repurposed, right? And once all the sediment and everything's cleared, crying out loud, just put it in the bag like this. It's got water in it. It's already moist. I should dump this particular bucket, and I'm going to in a minute, but it's cold out here, so the water is like freezing my hands at the moment. So my fingers will go numb, but I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. And what you do is just put this in the bucket, in the bag. You have it in the bag. Seal said bag up, like so. You can pound it, you can do whatever you need to do. Pound it back into shape, make it squares, make it circles, make it whatever you want. But the thing is it's repurposed clay because it's moisturized, it's got water in it. It is ready to go. So you have your clay back. And I have a bag of clay. Now, I can do that with as many bags as I like and as much as I like. This is from the former sculpting of Cujo, which I think an estimation was about 50, 75 pounds of clay. It took almost 3 boxes. But if I'm going to do another sculpture, which I want to work on one for resin, I'm going to need to repurpose this clay. So that's what I'm doing. I'm in the process of re-moisturizing it and repurposing it, put it back in bags, shaping it, molding it, so then I can just take the bag out, put the block out, cut it, put it on the form, boom, and I'm reusing my clay. Anyway, that's basically the synopsis of that. Now with monster clay is a little bit different animal. Monster clay is an oil-based clay, also known as Savant clay. I don't have too much of that around anymore because I had an incident where I was doing a sculpt and made a repour and it leaked out through the silicone, actually went on the floor, so it wasted quite a bit of it. And it turned out that the mold that I was trying to reform wasn't adequate enough. So I quit using that. But I do have an example here from what I've done. You can melt monster clay down in a crock pot or something. I don't have one out here at the moment. But I did pour what was left in a high-tempered glass thing to save what little bit that I had left. And I don't know if I ever get around to using that. I might for a small project. I have to melt these down and redo these for the hands that I did because these were too small. So this may get melted down and put in with this. I have to get a container of sorts big enough to hold both of them because plastic will melt under extreme heat. So you can't do that with plastic. So what the idea behind that is if it is a oil-based clay, it can be saved. If it is a water-based clay, it can be saved. There's just 2 different methods on how to do it. If you bake this water-based clay, it gets hard. Even when it gets hard and it's baked, it can still be saved because it's water-based. So put it in water and save it. That is so you don't go spending exorbitant amounts of money on clay, having to ship from Amazon and it costing double the amount of what the clay is. It's clay $25, it's going to cost you $50 a pop. You need like 3 boxes. That's $150 right off the bat that you're investing in, and you don't have to do that. Just take the clay that you've got, put it in a good bucket, and this is, like I said, this is a 5-gallon bucket. One of my latex buckets is emptied, and I just cleaned it out. I've got several of these things because I make the molds for the masks that I produce. You know, you run out of latex, so you take the bucket, you repurpose it for something else. It can be a Ultra Cal bucket, where it's water to wash your hands, or water to mix Ultra Cal in. You know, I save everything. I repurpose just about everything that I use. The only thing I really don't have repurposed, I think, is like foam or something scrap. But sometimes I'll keep scraps around for whatever, you know, needle, whatever I need. Anyway, not a professional at this, so the lesson for the day is repurposing clay. Put it in a bucket. Let it get absorbent. It will drain off all the sediment like the wax or the mold release. You scrape that off. You can pour it out in a bucket. You just take the clay, put it in a bag. It becomes soft and pliable again. And boom, you're saving money. So there you go. That's just something that I don't see a lot of artists emphasizing. You know, they're like, oh, okay, you know, do this. This is how I destroy it. You know, this is how you do it. This is how you save it or you mold it and that type of thing. Nobody ever talks about saving money when you're doing this kind of thing. So I guess I thought I'd come in, swoop in, and do a little lesson on how to save money being an artist, because there's a reason they call it starving artists, because you have to invest so much money in work and time and effort, and then, people want to buy your work, and then they go, okay, I can only afford this much. And you go, okay, fine, we'll make a deal. And you're not making that much money at it, when you start out. So you're starving. So you need to pinch pennies and figure out what you're going to do as far as saving materials. And this is one way to do it. Save materials by repurposing the clay. All right. Hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. Please hit the like, subscribe, and notification buttons. And we will see you next time. I've got a sculpting coming up, which I'm going to do 2 of them. One is a life-size, like the Cujo sculpting, which is going to be another dinosaur. And then I've got a character sculpt, which I'm in the middle of at the moment, where I haven't really started sculpting, but the photos, the ideas, I've actually got the form. This is a CFX mold mass form, and because it has a smaller head than the Ed head, I think I want to use this one as opposed to the mass form, which is a bigger head. When I'm doing resin, I want to try to be as life-size as possible, dimension-wise. So that's what I'm going to do with this, and hopefully that we'll be able to cover that in video basis as well. Anyway, thank you guys very much. Remember, it's all about saving money. If you've got dry clay, don't throw it away. Put it in a bucket, pour water in it, repurpose it, get you some gallon bags from the store, put the clay in there, and there you go. Now you can reuse it. All right? So there's another helpful tip. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.